WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app. Now, live from the Matt Black Kia Studios.
What a move!
Here's Josh Hennig.
Wednesday edition, hump day, here on 97.3 ESPN. Counting down the days to the Eagles. Plus, we'll get into some first looks at their matchup with the Lions. You know, Hard Knocks finished last night, and I'm going to tell you why the Hard Knocks hype train is making people lose their minds. Plus, the Phillies actually won a game last night, so we'll get to all of that and more. It's a Weinberg Wednesday. Dave Weinberg joins us coming up at 6:20 to talk more Eagles and a little boxing as well a little bit later on the show. As always, you can join the conversation at 609-403-0973 on the text board. You also can DM the show through the 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. So today, the Eagles came out with their first injury report. And it's the first example for why I'm not necessarily sweating. I'm not exactly worried about this Sunday's game. Look, anything can happen. It's the NFL. But when the Eagles come out with an injury report that is significantly better than what the Lions are dealing with, my instinct is to say there's already a positive in the Eagles column. So for those who didn't hear it, Mike Gill mentioned it earlier in the Sports Bash. I'll give it to you now. Nobody missed practice today. Everyone is on track to play this Sunday. So initially, you can give the Eagles credit for saying, hey, it worked. The whole preseason plan worked. We'll give you credit for that, okay? But I think the bigger issue is it worked and you're going to have pretty much everyone at full strength for the most part. I don't know exactly what the impact is of Barnett's rib issue or the Hargrave toe issue or Josiah Scott and Miles Sanders listed with a hamstring. But Josiah Scott was a limited participant and Miles Sanders was a full participant at practice. So it at least sounds like that they're going to be good to go. On the flip side, things are not looking so good for the Lions. Okay, so while the Eagles have nobody out, the Lions had 3 guys miss practice, and they had 5 guys who were limited. The most important guy on this list, though, is Tommy Kramer. And the reason I bring up Tommy Kramer is because a lot of people look at the Lions and say the strength of their team is their offensive line, okay? With Glasgow at center, with Penei Sewell, left tackle. Now, if Kramer can't play, along with Halapuli Vati-Vaitai, who's out for the next few weeks, that means that in basically almost the entire one side of the Lions' offensive line is going to be backups. And that's a bad story for the Lions going against an Eagles defensive line that's going to be hunting. I think the one thing that the Eagles have strongly going in their favor is that I don't know if the Lions are ready for the kind of athletes on the D-line they have coming. Look, we all saw the highlights of Aiden Hutchinson for the last 4 weeks on Hard Knocks. But here's the key. They're highlights. We rarely saw when Aiden Hutchinson was knocked back, when he was pushed around, when he didn't get all the way to the quarterback in practice. I will never let go of the reality that in the college football playoff game, Michigan, Georgia, you know what happened? Aiden Hutchinson had 0 impact on that game. None. He had no impact on the game. How am I supposed to get hyped for a guy based off of edited film. I saw the game with my own two eyes. Aiden Hutchinson was almost completely shut out by Georgia in that playoff game, and was a huge part of the reason why Georgia ran away from Michigan in that game, because the strength of Michigan, which was actually their defense last year, the strength of Michigan was neutralized by Georgia's offense. You're telling me that there's nobody in the NFL with as good, if not better, offensive linemen than Georgia? You're telling me that Aiden Hutchinson is going to have a monster game against the Eagles on Sunday? I believe it when I see it. Look, I don't think he's going to be a bad NFL player. I think he's going to be a very good NFL player. But I don't think that people are realizing, and this is where the fallacy comes in, that Hard Knocks is a hype show. It's a reality TV show that's based on hype. And there are some specific things you can take away from something like that. But overall, there's really not a lot. And you have a situation right now where this line has moved. People are putting money on Detroit to the point where there was a time where this spread was Eagles minus 4.5. At some books now, it's 3.5. You know why? Because people are so nuts when it comes to reality TV. They're so gullible when it comes to reality TV that they don't realize that the highlights that you see are just that, highlights. The only thing you can take away from Hard Knocks, in my opinion, over the last several years is what you learn about the coaches. You learn very quickly on Hard Knocks which coaches are legit and which coaches are just fool's gold. You learn very quick which coaches actually have the it factor and which coaches are just full of it. A perfect example of that is Jeff Fisher in the 2016 Rams season. He was full of it. Jeff Fisher, by that point, had lost his fastball, his slider, his curveball, and his sinker. None of them were working anymore, but he was trying to make you think he did with puffing out his chest, acting like he was a football guy. I'm a football lifer. I know everything. He acted like. Ignoring the fact that Jeff Fisher destroyed almost every quarterback's career that he ever was involved in, not named Steve McNair. He almost ruined Nick Foles. Remember, Nick Foles was about to quit football. That's how bad he ruined Nick Foles. He almost ruined Case Keenum's career because Keenum had a resurrection in Minnesota and in Houston. He almost destroyed Vince Young. We all should be thankful that Vince Young is not totally mentally shot at this point. But Hard Knocks exposed Fisher. It was the first time that we as a public saw who really Jeff Fisher was, or Hugh Jackson was, or Mike McCarthy a couple of years ago. On the flip side, Hard Knocks has also shown us who other coaches are. Hard Knocks has shown you over the years who are the real coaches, who are not. And I think the one thing we did learn from Hard Knocks is I think that the Lions have a very good coaching staff. I think that Deuce Staley is a future NFL head coach. I think that Dan Campbell and that group of guys are buying into him. And that's really where the threat is for the Eagles. The threat is you have a situation where when you look at the Lions, they don't have the talent the Eagles do. So sometimes if you believe that you're better than you are, you might actually play up to that level for a game or two. Go back a couple of years. Before Urban Meyer imploded in Jacksonville, the year before, Jacksonville went 1-15. That one win came in week 1 over an Indianapolis Colts team that would go to the playoffs and lose a very close game to the Bills with Phillip Rivers. For one game to start the year, the Jags at home, by the way, beat the Colts 27-20. For one game, the Jags looked like a legit team. That was the big Gardner Minshew 3-touchdown game. People were like, wow, this guy went 19 for 20. For one game, Jacksonville went out there and played above their potential. And that was the last game they won all year. So that's where my warning is for the Eagles. Don't get suckered by Hard Knocks, okay? The Eagles are going to win the game on Sunday. But the reason why the line is moved and the odds makers are moving it is not just because the money's coming in, but they realize that in week 1, anything can happen. The NFL is a any given Sunday league. And whether it is the Saints only being favored by 5.5 on the road in Atlanta, whether it is the Jets who are starting Joe Flacco, only 7-point dogs to the Ravens, even go to the Patriots and Dolphins game. That's a 3.5-point spread. The Jags and Commanders, that's a 2.5-point spread. First week of the NFL season, anything can happen. So I think that's why the Eagles have taken the game seriously. But I'm not going to get I am not going to get run away by Hard Knocks, because I think it was very convenient that two things happened on this year's Hard Knocks. Number one, they didn't spend a lot of time on the stars of the team. I felt like this was the first Hard Knocks in a few years that spent an inordinate amount of time on the non-star players. Last time was the Browns year with Hugh Jackson and Todd Haley having that awkward stare down in the coach's room. And that Cleveland team was bad. Hard Knocks will tell you without telling you who's a good or bad team. I'm not saying the Lions go 1-15, but I don't think that they are a winning football team this year. I think the Lions are still a year away from doing that. I think they're moving in the right direction, but I'm not going to let Hard Knocks get me too manipulated emotionally or mentally. I know what the Lions are. And I'm not going to sit here and be one of these suckers and go out and throw a bet on the Lions on Sunday. Now, if the Lions win, I'll come on the air Monday and I'll be like, I was wrong. And I'll tell you why I was wrong. But right now, I am saying never have I ever, will I ever buy into the hype of Hard Knocks. Even if it means I'm going to be wrong at some point. Because 9 times out of 10, it's going to lead me down the right road to not trust a reality show of highlight packages. Josh Hennig here on GameNight, 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app. GameNight being brought to you by my friends over at Jenkins Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, because they have helped your favorite football team. That's right. Did you know that over 40 years ago, John Jenkins Sr. invented the heated seat the football players sit on today? Yes. The Jenkins family created a way for football players to weather the extreme cold on frigid game days. Now, imagine what Jenkins can do for your home. Yes, Jenkins is the name homeowners and business owners call for quality service. Like us here at 97.3 ESPN, when we need to keep our studio cool, we call Jenkins, and so should you. Look, no matter what you need, Jenkins has got you covered for plumbing, drain cleaning, leak repairs, gas furnace, boiler, or hot water heater replacements. Jenkins technicians do it all. Call them today at 609-641-6262 or online at jenkinsandsons.com.
Kevin Harlan from Westwood One inviting you to join me and Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner from Los Angeles for the kickoff of the new NFL season, when the defending Super Bowl champion Rams play host to Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. King Cooper Cup and the Rams pick up where they left off last year. Join us to find out. Coming up for the NFL opening kickoff.
Listen to Thursday Night Football on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins at 8 p.m.
Don't miss the Atlantic City In-Water Boat Show. 4 days only, September 8th to the 11th at the Golden Nugget Marina. Free self-parking, live entertainment, kids under 12 free. Buy advanced discount tickets at acinwaterboatshow.com.
This view was worth a hike.
Right? And it's a good way to stay on top of my health.
Yes, I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. Have you screened for colon cancer?
Not yet.
Don't wait. It's more treatable when caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and it's used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit Cologuard.com.
I'm in.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. An oil change with quality oil like Castrol Edge Full Synthetic can help your engine get more out of every tank. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $37.99. Get what you need for better fuel efficiency at any of our 6,200 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Ocean Casino Resort is the ultimate fantasy draft party spot. Go for the bragging rights this fantasy football season and plan your draft party at Top Golf. Each party receives a dedicated VIP draft space or private bay at Top Golf for up to 4 hours, an ocean draft board, swag bag, championship trophy, and more. Your fantasy football season starts here at Ocean Casino Resort. For more details, visit theoceanac.com. Go to Ocean. Go for the win. Let's go! Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Okay, so how crazy high are these gas prices right now, right? I mean, I filled up my car the other day, and I thought for that price, I could buy a couple of pairs of Skechers and pretty much walk everywhere. Plus, unlike gas, not only Skechers affordable, they also last a really long time. Skechers are extremely durable, and many are machine washable, and they're so comfortable. With comfort features like Skechers' famous air-cooled memory foam, Relax Fit, Wide Fit, Arch Fit, plus so many other fits and features. Find your perfect pair of Skechers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Today on Hey Culligan, soft water, cleaner environment. What do you say, Greg?
Hey Culligan, are you saying if I have a Culligan high-efficiency water softener, I'm also helping the environment?
It sounds like you're saying it, Greg, and yes, you are, because with the Culligan high-efficiency water softener, you'll use less detergent, soap, and harsh chemicals, and that's good for the planet.
Now you're saying it.
You bet I am, Greg. Soft water and a cleaner environment is already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Are you doing everything to keep your heart healthy? Heart disease is the leading cause of death for both men and women in the United States, but it's also the most preventable. At Cape Regional Health System, we're ready to help with information on making heart-healthy choices, knowing your family history, and the risk factors for heart disease. To find out more or to schedule an appointment, call us at 609-463-CAPE. Do it for yourself, for those you care about, and for those who care about you. Cape Regional Health System, for a healthier life.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. An oil change with quality oil like Castrol Edge Full Synthetic can help your engine get more out of every tank. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $37.99. Get what you need for better fuel efficiency at any of our 6,200 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
If you're in the Wildwoods, you're looking for Yuri's Waterfront Restaurant. The newly renovated Yuri's offers you waterfront dining at its best, great food and seafood, live entertainment on weekends, and is the perfect location to host your party of any size. The brand new indoor bar features the NFL ticket and multiple flat screens for you to cheer on your favorite Philly team. Looking for a place to host your fantasy football draft? Look no further. It's Yuri's. Yuri's has a brand new menu, free parking and dockage, and be sure to bring the kids to our updated arcade offering games for kids of all ages. You haven't experienced the Wildwoods until you've experienced Yuri's.
You're listening to Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Josh Hennig here on Game Night Football Talk here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN is being brought to you by my friends over at the FanDuel Sportsbook at Bally's in Atlantic City. With 10 betting kiosks, 5 betting windows, 13 big screen TVs, plenty of comfortable seating, all you got to do is head over to FanDuel Sportsbook inside Bally's at Atlantic City or off the boardwalk to get on all the action this season. Must be 21 or older and present in New Jersey. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Thursday football tomorrow night. College football all day Saturday. And, of course, UFC 279 Saturday night. Eagles football on Sunday. Go check out the FanDuel Sportsbook inside Bally's Atlantic City. Talk more football right now with Dave Weinberg, sports columnist for 97.3 ESPN.com. Extra Point Columns over there. He joins us every Wednesday here on 97.3 ESPN. Dave, welcome back. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Josh. How are you? Sorry I'm late. We were planning our high school reunion.
I thought you might be running behind because it was a lousy weather day outside, so you were in mourning that you couldn't go to the beach or golf today.
Yeah, it was kind of depressing the last couple of days, but the sun's supposed to be out tomorrow, so all's good.
So, Dave, over at 97.3 ESPN.com, your latest Extra Point column kind of says in certain ways what a lot of other people are saying, which is, look, this Eagles team should be playoff bound. There's no reason why that they don't have the team or the schedule to go to the postseason. For you, what is the biggest factor in this team being a potential playoff team?
Jalen Hurts, of course. Everything revolves around the quarterback, and this team is no different. I mean, I'm pretty confident that he's going to make that step forward and turn himself into the leader that everybody thinks he can be. I mean, he already is, obviously, but I think he'll actually be even better this year. The other factor, I think, is probably injuries. They were pretty fortunate last year, aside from Brandon Graham and Brandon Brooks. They kind of escaped missing a lot of key starters for extended periods of time. And, if they can do that again, then I think they're in pretty good shape.
Now, Jalen Hurts, let's dig in on him a little bit more, all right?
Yep.
I have said numerous times over the years that a lot of players have talent, but not everyone has leadership. You and I both agree that leadership is important when it comes to the quarterback position. You saw it firsthand, the difference between Wentz and Foles in the Eagles locker room. That's the big reason why you were a proponent for Foles for as long as you were.
Correct.
Looking at Hurts, I'm not asking you is he Nick Foles, because I don't know I think that was a lightning in a bottle situation with that team, with that group of guys. But does Jalen Hurts have the qualities that would make you comfortable with saying this is a leader of a team long term?
So far, yeah. He seems to have the command and the respect of the locker room, and that's very important when you're a quarterback. I mean, it's critical that you do that, as we saw from a few years ago. And I think he does. It seems like the players believe in him. Like I said, they respect him. They're willing to follow him, and that's really what you need. And all he has to do is just play to whatever the offense gives him. Within the confines of the offense, maybe improve his accuracy a little bit. Maybe not have to run quite as much. And I think he's going to have a very good season. I really do.
How much do you think A.J. Brown is going to impact this offense?
Oh, huge. I would think. I mean, even if he doesn't have the sensational statistics that people are kind of predicting, but at the very least, I think that opens things up for Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert too. You can't really concentrate on just one guy anymore, the way they kind of could last year. AJ is that guy that can really, I think he could be the difference maker, honestly.
When you look at this division, one of the things I heard Sean Payton say in a different interview elsewhere was he said that for anyone who's talking about the NFC East, to him, the conversation comes down to 2 points of view. again, Sean Payton said this. I'm presenting it to Dave Weinberg here on Weinberg Wednesday here on 97.3 ESPN. Dave, Sean Payton said either you believe in the team with the best roster, which is the Eagles, in Payton's opinion, or you believe in the two best players in the division, which are Dak and Parsons in Dallas.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But I don't know if two players are enough, Josh. You can have the two best players, but if the other 20 aren't up to par, that doesn't do you much good. It seems like the offensive line for Dallas is kind of in trouble right now. Their wide receivers are really lacking. And there's no doubt, I mean, Parsons is an elite defensive player. That's true. But I don't know about the rest of the defense. It should be pretty stout, but I don't think they're going to be able to score points the way they're kind of accustomed to. So I would think I would go with the better roster. I mean, you're going to have that suggests that you have better depth too. Even if somebody does go down, you have somebody ready to step in. I would think I would lean to the Eagles in that comparison.
Now, I gotta disagree with you on one thing, Dave.
Okay.
You got the Eagles losing this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So how much has Hard Knocks influenced your pick?
Oh, a lot. I've been riveted to this show. I mean, there's been years where I really haven't been in tune that much, but I've been captivated by what Dan Campbell's been able to do. They seem to be on the right track. They have a lot of assistants that have NFL experience, which I think is really, really important. I mean, these guys have played the game. They know what it takes to excel at that level. Deuce Staley being, prominent among them. And I've been sold on them. I mean, I don't think they're making the playoffs or any of that stuff, but I think the Eagles are going to have a tough time this week. I really do.
I got to disagree with you, Dave, because I think that Hard Knocks conveniently has kept hidden the best players on that roster. We saw very little of Goff, very little of Amon St. Brown, very little of Williams, the running back, and Swift, except for the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
I think Hard Knocks tells you without telling you the talent of a team. Like when they highlight the talent on a team, like with the Rams years ago, like half of Hard Knocks was about Aaron Donald, for goodness sake. Like they just obsessed over him, or for example, when you have a situation with Dallas where all of Hard Knocks was about Dak and Ezekiel Elliott and everything, conveniently, it was all about Rodrigo. It was all about the offensive lineman, Z. It was about the coaches. I just think it was very convenient they were hiding some of those guys. And let's be realistic. There's no way Aiden Hutchinson won every matchup in practice.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. He seems to be a real stud. Yeah, he really does. I think he's going to be he's going to have a very big impact on. Excuse me for the phone there. I'm in somebody's office. He's going to have a very big impact on Sunday. I think he's going to be the defensive rookie of the year. Again, I've been really riveted to Hard Knocks. So, but I think Goff is going to. I think he's going to have a pretty good year too. I think he's ready to bounce back. But I've been wrong before, so.
I think it'll be a much closer game than last year. I think last year,
no doubt.
I think last year was a lightning in the bottle, using that term again, situation. I think the Eagles caught the Lions at the right point of the year and just ran the ball down their throat. My biggest problem with the Lions is they have injury issues right now. The Eagles don't. They don't have Vitae out there. Kramer looks like he's not practicing today. That's two guys on one side of the O-line. And I just got to think, Dave, the Eagles defense, I think they're coming hunting in this game. I think that Gannon and those boys up front want to go out there and make a point.
I'm sure they do, but whether they can or not, I don't know. I'm just interested to see how the Eagles offense operates. Like we all know, they were a very run-heavy team last year. I think they ran like 52% of the time. And but they've been talking all offseason. They got all these weapons now. I'm curious to see if there's more balance there. If they're going to let Jalen throw the ball more. You would think they would, with like I said, with A.J. Brown and Devontae and Dallas and all those guys. But I'm really interested to see how the offense operates. They didn't do a whole lot in the preseason except for the one series, and Jalen was perfect. But I want to see them against another team. I don't know about the simulated practice. I mean, the joint practices. I'm not sure if that really gives you a good indication of where they are.
Who wins more games this year? The Lions or the Jags?
Oh, gosh. I'm a big Doug Peterson guy. I'm going to go Jacksonville. It's going to take him time. But he is going to turn that team around. I don't know if he'll do it this year, but I think they'll take a step forward, a major step forward. I'll give a slight edge to the Jaguars.
We agree on that. I actually think the Jags finish in second in their division.
Oh, wow. Okay. In the South. Yeah.
Yeah. I just think the Titans take a step back. I don't think people realize how important A.J. Brown was to that offense. You know, to me, I think Tannehill, Dave, is an average NFL quarterback. And that guy had almost 4,000 passing yards with A.J. Brown as his receiver.
Right.
Without him, you know, Derrick Henry, do they clog the box more? You know, I don't know if Robert Woods is good enough to keep defenses honest. And I think that Titans are going to have some trouble this year.
That's a possibility. I mean, I'm a big Derrick Henry guy. I think he'll just stiff arm everybody that he needs to stiff arm to get to the end zone. Tannehill is a little bit better than average, I think. But yeah, he's not. I mean, he's not an elite guy by any stretch. Who did they replace A.J. Brown with?
They drafted Treylon Burks from Arkansas.
Okay. So they evidently think that he's capable of stepping up, or else they wouldn't have let AJ go, right?
That's the working theory. I mean, I know a lot of the draft prognosticators think that Burks projects to be AJ Brown. I think it's a little bit of a stretch. I like Treylon Burks as a prospect, but asking a rookie receiver in a run-based offense to be that kind of impact player in year one, I think it's a lot for a guy who really only ran 2 routes in college.
Didn't the Eagles do that last year?
What, run 2 routes?
No, have a rookie receiver when a run-oriented team.
Well, Devonta Smith was a Heisman Trophy winner, and he arguably ran about 6-7 routes in college. I just, no offense to Burks, I think he's a little behind the curve. I just think he's a guy that hasn't, I don't think he's evolved yet. I think he's about 2 years, 3 years away from being like guys like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. They've come into league and boom, you know, they're right there making an impact. I don't know if Burks is there yet.
Oh, okay. All right. I got you.
Also, I think Devonta Smith's going to have a big year this year, by the way. I think that people don't realize how much attention Brown and Goddard are going to draw.
Yeah, I
because
agree.
remember, the guy who caught the championship touchdown wasn't Jerry Jeudy, wasn't Henry Ruggs. It was Devonta Smith because he was wide open on the left side of that field when Tua chucked him that ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, I'm with you. I think he's going to have a very good year. Yep.
All right, I want to ask you about my other prediction here. I mentioned this yesterday, and the anonymous Cowboy fans are very angry with me, Dave. So I think Dallas is going to start the year 3-5, fire Mike McCarthy at the bye week, and they're going to be absolutely on fire for the second half, and they're going to make the playoffs as a wild card team.
Yeah, that's not out of the realm of possibility. Yeah, they could. I don't know if they'll fire McCarthy though. I don't know if Jones would do that and be that kind of drastic. I mean, who are they going to replace him with? I don't. But yeah, it's a possibility. I mean, you have seen teams where they do make a coaching change and players tend to rally around the guy that's in there the next time. And I mean, the guy that replaces them and makes them able to run. I mean, it doesn't happen often, but it does happen. And yeah, I can definitely see I think the Cowboys can win like 8-9 games. And if they can, then I think that'll be enough to get into the wild card slot and one of them.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys are a playoff team. I just think the offensive line is a dumpster fire right now.
Yeah, if you sign Jason Peters, there's something seriously wrong.
Oh, I know. I mean, he was a stiff board last year in Chicago. Yeah. He could barely move. So, I mean, listen, congrats to Jason Peters for convincing somebody to sign him. I'll give him and his agent credit for that. You know, it's like all those years Sam Bradford kept getting those big contracts. It's like, hey, congrats to you, man. You and your agent got somebody tricked. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely. Yep, I'm with you there. Yep.
But like, I don't think Dallas did enough to replace all the things they lost on offense. And I think that with Dan Quinn as D coordinator, Kellen Moore as offense coordinator, 2 guys who've interviewed for coaching jobs, and Jerry Jones getting over to lecture this week about how 1 + 1 can't equal 2. They need to equal 3 this year. Like, I just think Jerry is reaching for straws. I think he gets desperate.
Yeah, he probably could. Yeah, I can see he is kind of an impulsive kind of guy. Not when it comes to coaches, but I mean, I could see them probably giving like Kellen Moore the opportunity after that, in like midway through the year. That wouldn't totally shock me.
Dave Weinberg joining us for a Weinberg Wednesday, the day before the start of the NFL season here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. Now, a couple of things before I let you go, Dave. Number one, I know that boxing is returning back to Atlantic City September 9th. Will you be there this Friday?
I will. Well, at least I'm planning to. Yeah, I have a kind of a previous engagement that's kind of interesting. Lower Cape May Regional is honoring their 1962, I believe it was, football team that played their very first game on the field that's there now at Lower Cape May. And my father happened to be on the coaching staff of that team, so they're honoring that team today on Friday night to go out for the opening coin toss. So I'm gonna go out there in my dad's memory, but after that, I'm planning on shooting up to Atlantic City, the Valleys, to cover the boxing matches also.
Well, I know it starts at 9:00 on Showtime. It's the Showbox, the new generation on Friday night. Talk to me about this, because you and I talked a lot about boxing in different venues. What is your thought on it being at Bally's? Because each one of these properties has a bit of a different vibe to it.
Yeah, Bally's is kind of a hardcore boxing fan kind of place. No frills, no outside temptations or what have you. But I mean, they've hosted boxing all since Ken Condon took over in the 90s. They've had some terrific fights there. I remember Toro Gotti fighting there a few times, a couple other guys. It's a very good venue to see boxing. I mean, it's not too small, but not too big either. It's very kind of intimate, but there's not a bad seat to be had. And it's not one of those mega arenas, but it's a very like I said, very intimate, very intense kind of place to watch it. So I'm kind of glad that boxing's back in Dallas, to be honest with you.
So it sounds like it's actually perfect for this Showbox card.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It'll translate well onto TV. Definitely.
I like that. Now, I know one thing about boxing you've also talked about, Dave, is trying to get more events back to Atlantic City. Trying to get Atlantic City back in the eye. Well, this week they announced, to my chagrin, because I can't stand this guy, but Jake Paul's going to fight again. And he's going to fight former MMA champion Anderson Silva, which I think it's trouble for him. But they're doing it in Phoenix, Arizona. If Jake Paul was to bring one of his circuses to Atlantic City, would Dave Weinberg be okay with that?
They can do it. I'm not going. No, if I'm going to see the circus, I'm going to see the elephants and the clowns and stuff. I'm not going to see that crap.
Gotcha. Well, I just wanted to ask, because I noticed that it was in Phoenix, and I'm like,
yeah,
Phoenix, like that's like the most random place to have. Like, I mean, for goodness sake, Anderson Silva practically spent half of his life either in LA or Las Vegas, for goodness sake, because of his UFC career. It's like, oh, we're going to go to Phoenix with this. Like, the first thing I thought of was, what would this fiasco look like if it was in Atlantic City? Because, Atlantic City is a totally different animal than Phoenix.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if they would. I don't know if they draw very well. I mean, he's an entertaining kind of guy and has a big following, but as far as until he fights like a serious boxer and handles himself well in that kind of competition, I have no interest.
Gotcha. All right,
get off my lawn.
No, I don't think it's a get off my lawn, Dave. I think it's a bizarre thing, because in a world where people love reality TV, right? We just talked about Hard Knocks earlier. That's a form of reality TV.
Yes, it is.
On one hand, I give the Paul brothers credit for capitalizing on that environment, but I just don't respect them as fighters. It's like I wish I could remember the one guy's name, but one of the TV executives from the boxing side, he basically turned to him at one point and says, "You're not a real fighter." He's like, "Just don't."
Oh, wow.
And like he really embarrassed him a few months ago.
Oh goodness.
So, oh my goodness, I'm gonna remember the guy's name as soon as we're done.
No, that's okay.
But yeah, it's online somewhere. I remember watching the video and I was just like, oh snap, But it just again, one hand, I respect the guy for capitalizing and making money. Like, good for him. Oh yeah, I just don't respect him as an athlete. I don't respect him as a fighter. I don't respect him in a lot of areas. I think he's a scummy person who is basically paying fighters who are past their primes money to go out there and let them beat them up.
Ooh, that's a strong take, but yeah, I'm with you.
I still think Anderson Silva knocks him out, though.
That'd be great.
Because the thing is, I've actually watched Silva box a few times.
Uh-huh.
Like, he's not Tyron Woodley. He's not doing like haymakers here and there. He's actually
good. He knows what he's doing. Good.
Well, Silva's a heavy jab guy in his boxing style. And you remember Anderson Silva, he's got the crazy long reach. So, I think Silva's got the enough skill, and he's got that little bit of craziness. He's that crazy Brazilian in him. So he'll probably say something to Paul to make him mad or something and get him to, maybe overreach or something.
I hope he does.
My working theory doesn't mean I'm going to
be worth watching.
But we'll find out next Wednesday, Dave. I think the Eagles win on Sunday. You think they lose. We'll find out next week, and we'll talk about it here on 97.3 ESPN. At Dave Weinberg, 19 on Twitter, and his Extra Point column is up right now at 97.3ESPN.com. Dave, always appreciate you making the time to jump on.
Thanks for having me as always, Josh. Talk to you next week.
And, of course, our conversation with Dave Weinberg is being brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook at Bally's in Atlantic City. Yes, where Showtime Showbox is going to be this Friday night. You can also go over to the Sportsbook at Bally's. Bet, watch, and win all season long. Plus, enjoy your favorite games from all over the world with 10 betting kiosks, 5 betting windows, 13 big screen TVs, plenty of comfortable seating. So just head over to FanDuel Sportsbook at Bally's in Atlantic City, right off the boardwalk, to get on all the action this season. Thursday night football. They got boxing right there in the building Friday night. Maybe you go to the Sportsbook right after, place a bet for the weekend. Maybe you're like Dave Weinberg and you like the Lions this Sunday. You want to go throw a money line bet on it. I don't recommend it, but hey, it's your money, not mine. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Saturday college football, you can hang out, watch the games all day long. UFC 279 Saturday night. Eagles football Sunday afternoon. They got all the games right there at FanDuel Sportsbook inside Bally's. FanDuel wants every bettor's experience to be enjoyable and fun. Visit FanDuel.com/playwell to learn more. Must be 21 or older to play and present in New Jersey. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. We'll check out the text board on the other side, 609-403-0973. You also can DM the show through the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of CIL. Hal from Wilmington, Dan from EHT. We'll get to your messages next.
This is the radio home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles open the 2022 regular season this Sunday in Detroit against the Lions.
Back goes Goff. He's rolling. He's being chased and he's being sacked. And again, it is Josh Sweat.
Pre-game coverage starts at noon with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick calling all the action starting at 1 p.m. This is where the Philadelphia Eagles play. 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's official Eagles station.
Hey, this is Josh Hennig reminding you to trust Jenkins Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Because when we needed to make the 97.3 ESPN studio comfortable, that's who we called, and you should too. No need to call the drain guy, the heater guy, or the plumbing guy. Jenkins technicians are trained to do it all. For new heating and air installation, service and maintenance, ductless air conditioning systems, water heaters, boilers, oil service, plumbing and drain cleaning services, call 609-641-6262. Online at jenkinsandsons.com.
You wash your hands and brush your teeth, but what about your nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, dirt, and germs, and it's why nose cleaning is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons: sinusitis, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they also find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Nearly 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying things like, best product I've ever used, and amazing, I love my Navage. That's because Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less. But the biggest payoff is improved health. Here's the key point. Navage is good personal hygiene, and it's going to help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Attention, do you suffer from severe fried chicken-related cravings? If so, Kentucky Fried Chicken's $6 two-piece drum and thigh combo may be right for you. The combo contains tasty chicken, creamy mashed potatoes, a flaky biscuit, and an ice-cold drink. Side effects may include more money in your wallet, happiness, and the urge to lick your fingers. Order KFC's two-piece drum and thigh combo in the KFC app for just $6. That's finger-licking good. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer. Tax extra.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel is all conversation-based, so it gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
You'll really see a difference in how you can speak and how conversational you can be in just a few weeks.
Babbel isn't just lessons. You can listen to podcasts, play games, watch videos. You can even take live online classes with a language teacher. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel.
The lessons online and in the app make it easy to learn from pretty much anywhere.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
I did a site visit and the space is absolutely incredible.
Este's Reiki Clinic is opening another studio across town.
But there's a lot to wrap up.
But staffing an entire office requires more than just deep breathing.
Receptionist and at least 4 new practitioners.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Look, folks, I gotta be honest with you. Everything's up. Food prices, gas prices, pencil prices. I love pencils.
Everything is not up. You're forgetting about Springfield Mitsubishi in Atlantic City.
You mean they're not jacking up prices, Jack, like everywhere else?
Correct. And every vehicle is still $1 down.
$1? You gotta be kidding me. That reminds me when I was a kid, my dad said, Joey, here's a dime. Go buy a house. But what about credit for millions of Americans?
Go to Springfield Mitsubishi, Atlantic City. If you bring home $350 a week, you can get up to $25,000 in credit.
25 grand with only $1 down.
Get new Outlanders with third row seating in stock now.
Look, here's a deal. Just get down to Springfield, man.
Springfield Mitsubishi, Atlantic City.
In Pleasantville, they service all makes and models. Springfield Mitsubishi AC.com.
Springfield Mitsubishi AC.com.
My first annual salary was a dime. That's the real deal.
New 22 Mirage 18.4 dime down, $269 a month for 72 months at 3% APR plus tax title to qualify buyers.
Everyone, who's manning the front tonight?
Big E's nightclub needs a bouncer with a military background.
Dougie, I need you to keep eyes on the back.
Security who lays down the no when the unts get too intense.
That Swedish DJ duo is back tonight. Y'all remember last time.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Now, local businesses can get closer to every customer in their city with fast, affordable shipping. Introducing USPS Connect Local. You want speed? We deliver same or next day. You want savings? We give you supplies at a flat rate. You want less legwork? We do free pickups. Move your local business forward with the United States Postal Service. Let's connect at USPSconnect.com/local. Specific markets, restrictions apply. Same day or next day delivery expected, but not guaranteed with entry close to final destination.
Go to get your game on at the Gallery Bar Booking Games in Ocean Casino Resort this football season. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Get in on the parlay while in the middle of a party. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go to the Gallery. Go to Ocean. Go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. An oil change with quality oil like Castrol Edge Full Synthetic can help your engine get more out of every tank. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $37.99. Get what you need for better fuel efficiency at any of our 6,200 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hey, I got a question for you. You hate bending over to put on your shoes? Wish you should just put them on standing or sitting without ever having to touch them? If so, then I have the shoe for you. Introducing new hands-free Skechers Slip-ins. With new Skechers Slip-ins, you just step in and off you go. You don't even need to lace up. So how do Skechers Slip-ins work? Well, there's a special smooth comfort pillow in the heel that helps your foot slide right into place. So just step in them and go. Find new hands-free Skechers Slip-ins for the whole family at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Don't miss the Atlantic City In-Water Boat Show. 4 days only, September 8th to the 11th at the Golden Nugget Marina. Free self-parking, live entertainment, kids under 12 free. Buy advance discount tickets at acinwaterboatshow.com.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
All right, let's get to some of your comments over on the messages here. I don't want to neglect that here on 97.3 ESPN. Over the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, Hal from Wilmington chimes in, says, Josh, I feel that the beginning of the season projections and odds are not accurate. For example, the Bengals, who projected them to go to the Super Bowl last year at this time. I never watched Hard Knocks in my life, but I know some teams like the Lions and Jags should be better than some of the projections. A couple things, Hal. Number one, I do agree. I think that a team like the Jags, because of Doug Peterson, because of the change in culture, I do think they're going to be better than expected. I do agree with that. I said earlier, and I've said it before, I think the Jags could finish second in the division. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and declare that that's the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. But Hal, I do agree with you. I think a team like the Jags could be better than people are expecting. And I think the Lions are probably not going to be last place. I think the Bears are actually a worse team than the Lions this year. But if we had to sit here and say who's going to go to the Super Bowl, who we're not predicting right now, like the Bengals last year, look, maybe a team like the Ravens do. You know, the last time the Ravens didn't give a contract to a starting quarterback in his final year before free agency, Joe Flacco led the Ravens to a Super Bowl championship. I'm not saying Lamar's going to do that, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens, who basically were one of the most injured teams of football last year, at least if they were healthy this year, they could certainly be a playoff team and make a run. Dan at EHT chimes in and says, hey, Josh, following up on what Mike Gill said earlier about A.J. Brown being overlooked as a big signing, I love that point of view. I'm so hyped for this season more than I already was. I think the Eagles go 12-5, says Dan in EHT. Well, first of all, I got to give Dan credit for not saying the Eagles would go undefeated, right? You know, I give credit to any fan who doesn't go out of their way to basically proclaim a team as a champion before they are. I think the Eagles win the division. I foresee a 10-7, 11-6 kind of year personally, okay? I think 12, 13 wins is a little ambitious because I think there are still some flaws on the Eagles' schedule. You know, I don't know if they can beat Dallas both times they play them. I don't think they're going to beat Green Bay later this year. And I think the game at Indianapolis is going to be a stumbling point for them. So those are just a couple examples of games I think that they can lose this season. All right. Great stuff from everybody. Appreciate Dan at EHT and Hal from Wilmington chiming in here on Game Night. I'm Josh Hennig. Have a great night, everybody. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, it's Tom P., host of Rack and Fin Radio, inviting you to join me every Saturday morning at 7 here on 97.3 ESPN FM. Each week, we discuss the hot topics affecting the sportsmen and sportswomen in New Jersey. Hunting, fishing, boating, conservation, and Second Amendment topics are some of the issues that are covered in depth.
Rack and Fin Radio is sponsored by Holtz Boatworks and Batteries Plus Bulbs. Check out Rack and Fin Radio every Saturday morning at 7 on 97.3 ESPN FM, South Jersey Sports Leader.